Some of the jokes I particularly liked are the animal stereotyping jokes, like things that you think about certain animals, where some of the animals will say, hey, you can't say that about us, or you can't assume that all foxes are like this, or all bunnies are like this, or whatever. That was pretty neat. I like that. Hi, I'm Andre, and here's a review for you better reviews. Zootopia. Now, this is where it's gonna get a little spoilerish. It's gonna get some more details of plot. So if you don't wanna hear it, check out. Here we go. You've been warned. So, Judy Hopps is trying to become a cop, and of course people don't think a bunny can be a cop. There's a lot of metaphors of a bunny trying to be a cop, similar to like how a woman is trying to do something that's mostly seen by things that men do, or people of color trying to do something that mostly white people do. You know, it's clearly that metaphor of the bunny can't be the cop. I'm gonna prove I can be the first bunny cop, that kind of stuff. And the other thing that they set up in this movie is that the evolution into Zootopia came from animals used to be predator and prey. That's how they were split up. But eventually they got to the point where they were seen as one, so all animals are treated equally, and that's how we get Zootopia. But what happens in this movie is that some of the animals are starting to regress back into their primitive state. And at a certain point in this film, only predators so far have been turning back. So when Judy Hopps cracks a certain part of the case and she has to do a press conference, she has to talk about the situation of what happened, and people are asking her questions, or I'm sorry, animals are asking her questions. And then it gets to a point where she doesn't have as much information as she thinks she has, so she starts theorizing a bunch of stuff, and it basically leads to her giving a speech about how she feels it's only predators who are exhibiting the traits of becoming back to their regressive state of being savage animals, and that as cops, they have to put more of a focus on looking at predators versus prey to see if any other predators are going to have these same abilities to go back. She even goes to a point where she says that she thinks it's something in the DNA of the predators that makes them different from the prey, which makes them have a higher chance of turning into savage animals. Right? A cop is telling animals that certain animals should be looked at more closely than other animals, because we believe based on the type of animals they are, they have a higher chance of causing problems in the world of Zootopia than the other animals. Wow! I'm like, what? How did Disney know? I mean, let's be honest. I mean, the stuff that we're seeing happening with the police and with certain neighborhoods or people of color, this ain't new. We know that this stuff's been going on for years. It's just now we're seeing more of it in our faces because of social media, because of the news or whatever. But still, for that to be such a big thing that's happening right now, and Zootopia, a Disney movie about talking animals living in a world, hit something that even the news, that even TV shows and movies are afraid to touch. Politicians afraid to touch this issue, and Zootopia is just like, bam, right in your face. And then it gets even worse because Nick Wilde technically is a predator because he's a fox. And so he's like, hey, you know, what's up? You have a problem with foxes now? I've been with you this entire time. You're actually scared of me. And what makes it even crazier is that Judy moves from like a carrot farm to go to Zootopia, and her parents are like, you gotta watch out for foxes. Foxes are evil. Take this fox repellent with you. And she's been holding it on her belt the whole time. And Nick Wilde's like, don't think I ain't noticed you got fox repellent. And he fake lunges at her to talk to her, and she straight up jumps back and puts her hand right over the fox repellent. And it's just, it's just such a powerful moment in that movie. And then after that, it gets crazy where like they have predator and prey on the bus, and the prey look at the predator and like move their child closer to be further away from the predator. There's protests. There's clearly animals not liking each other. And even before this moment happens, there's elements in this movie where you see that Zootopia, and Nick Wilde even says this, Zootopia is not a hunky-dory, everybody's friendly with everybody type of world that you think it is. Because you'll see that like there's a part where elephants are telling other animals, get out of my store, that Judy has to deal with bullies when she's a kid because she's a bunny that wants to be a cop. Nick Wilde has a very powerful story about why, you know, even though the sly fox is a stereotype, why he's living up to that, because when he tried to do something different, he was pushed down, literally and figuratively. You know, it gets really deep about diversity. It gets really deep about tolerance and how we treat other people, in this case, other animals. And the fact that they add the police element on top of that is just insane. I mean, it just, the entire time when me and my friends left the theater, that's all we were talking about. We were like, how did Disney do this? How did Disney know that this was gonna be such a big topic today, that this movie just hit? Because this movie was obviously being worked on for several years. When you think about the animation, the writing, the recording of voices, even probably rewrites or first drafts of how the world was gonna be before they made changes. The timing on this is just ridiculously perfect. I think that adults should really see this movie, and I definitely think kids should see this movie, because it will be one of these things that they can learn early to hopefully not make the same mistakes that some other generation, even before me, have obviously made. And for Disney to do that, and to find a creative way to do that, and again, to do it in a way that's not preachy, that's not like trying to harp on a pedestal, it's just telling it like it is. It's just telling it like it is. And what it also shows is that a lot of times it's not just people being mean. There's characters in this that act towards other animals for the sole purpose of they don't like other animals. And there's a case like with Judy Hopps. She was just going by what she got as info. She was just naive to the fact that she didn't have all the facts and made a theory based on that, but her actions showcased her thoughts. And it was just impressive. I mean, like that scene, when you watch it, like the whole time I was watching the scene, I was like this. I was like, oh dang, oh dang. And it just keeps going, and like you can see the process of her just messing up and saying the wrong things, and Nick Wilde's kind of looking at her like, what is she saying? And the whole time you're just like, dang, Judy, shut up. Really good scene, loved it so much. Just had to get that out there because I was just so impressed by it. And the messages overall that Zootopia brings to this thing, it's so good. And that's what takes this movie another notch above what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be like a wacky, silly, fun comedy with animals and they're going to solve a case. That just added to a level that just made this literally one of my favorite Disney movies recently. I mean, this is just, it was impressive how they did this, and did this so well to take a serious subject matter, put it in a family film, and did it the right way without even thinking about, well, you know, obviously they thought about doing it, but just the way they did it was just so right for this type of medium or this type of format, a family film. They just did a good job. I had to give them kudos on that. That was definitely one of the highlights, as well as sad moments of the movie that just took this to a new level. Thanks for watching. Let me know if you're planning on seeing Zootopia, and if you did see Zootopia, let me know what you thought about it in the comments. And if you got to be an animal, what animal would you want to be? I love you like a play cousin. I'm Addy 5000 Chain Chomp Yomp.